Greetings, fellow students of Dreaming Spires. Today we're going to be looking at the Knight's Tale, and we're going to start off with a brief introduction to the knight himself. He's described by Chaucer as not only the highest in social standing of all of the pilgrims, despite wearing quite regular clothes, but we also learn that he has taken part in 15 crusades in many different places. He's been in some fights and stuff. And he's just a very chivalrous, polite, kind, good, knightish sort of fellow. So there you have it. Thank you. Our tale begins in Athens, where Theseus, conqueror of the Amazons and husband of Hippolyta, is just returning home. He finds the entrance to his city blocked, however, by a group of mourning women. One of the women explains that they were once very important, but their husbands had been slain by Creon of Thebes and left for the dogs to eat. They have come to Athens to beg for help. Theseus decides to imprison them in a tower for the rest of their lives. One day, years later, Palamon is looking through the window when he sees a beautiful woman in the gardens below, Emily, the sister of Hippolyta. Palamon is instantly in love, and he tells his sworn brother about Emily straight away. Arcite goes to look out of the window as well, and also falls in love with Emily. The brothers argue over who has the right to love her.
Later,
Theseus goes to meet with Duke Perotheus, who advises him to let Arcite go free, as he was fond of the man. Theseus agrees and lets Arcite go, but he says that he must never ever set foot on Theseus's land again, or there will be consequences. Both brothers were miserable for the following years. Arcite believed that his brother was the lucky one, because he, although imprisoned, could still see the lady every day. Palamon thought that his brother would soon return to Thebes with an army and take Emily by force, whereas he himself would have to remain in the tower forever, so he is very sad as well. After a few years, Arcite decides that he looks different enough due to sickness and to not be recognised, and returns to Thebes as a worker. He gets to see Emily and instantly becomes well liked. Theseus eventually gives him a position of power as well. Meanwhile, Palamon escapes the tower and hides in a forest. He plans on going back to Thebes and amassing an army to take Emily's hand by force. By chance, Arcite is in the very same forest, celebrating with May and talking about Emily to himself. When Palamon hears this, he reveals himself, and the two brothers begin to argue again. They renounce their brotherhood and agree to meet and duel the very next day. When Theseus finds them fighting, Arcite reveals his true identity and explains why he and his former sworn brother are fighting. Hippolyta and Emily convince Theseus not to kill them, but instead gives them a year to assemble groups of fine warriors before battling it out for Emily's hand in marriage. Theseus builds a huge arena with temples to Venus, Mars, and Diana. After a year has passed, the men return with their armies and also a king each. Palamon brings Lycurgus, king of Thrace, and Arcite brings Ametrius, king of India. At 2 o'clock in the morning, Palamon goes to Venus's temple to pray, and he asks for Emily. Arcite goes to Mars's temple to pray for victory. They both receive signs that the gods have heard them and are confident. Emily goes to Diana's temple and prays for maidenhood and virginity. But if she cannot have this, she would marry the one who loves her the most. Diana says to her that she must marry one, but the gods will not tell her who. Later, after a great feast, the ex-brothers show up for battle. There are rules. Knights that are captured must be taken away instead of killed, and all fighting will halt when either Palamon or Arcite is killed or captured. After a lot of fighting, Palamon is captured, and Arcite is declared the winner. Unfortunately, at that moment, a hole to hell opens up in the ground and scares Arcite's horse. He falls and is taken away to a bed in the castle, dying. Arcite says goodbye to Emily and his brother and then dies. After a vividly described funeral and a lot of mourning, Palamon and Emily marry and live happily ever after. The end. For jealous Herta, upon this Palamon, nen balmaye, then is so fell down that hunted is all, or for his hunger would ne'er of his prey deserteth. So the blood. I'm too good.